Well, for those of you that I haven't run off yet with my terrible run in American football, it's time for a special Champions League edition of the Power Five. Five free plays on some of this week's biggest matches from Europe's premier soccer competition. As a reminder, you can always go ahead and comment down below with your thoughts on these plays. Number one, let's start today, 3 p.m. Eastern with RB Leipzig. Draw no bet versus Aston Villa. Of course, draw no bet means we're not betting the three-way line, but rather the spread. So in case of a draw, our bet is a push, not a loss. In this case, only have to lay minus 110 to get RB Leipzig draw no bet. Now, for those of you who've been following along closely, this wager may seem a bit risky, as Leipzig have lost all five of their Champions League matches thus far, while Aston Villa, they're sitting on the cusp of the top eight and automatic qualification for the knockout stage. That being said, Leipzig certainly due for better results moving forward. Four of their five losses in this competition have been by just one goal. And in front of their home supporters Tuesday, you know they're going to be highly motivated for that first win, which they desperately need to remain viable in the competition. I know Villa has conceded just one goal in their five Champions League matches thus far, but this club's banged up at the moment, guys. They've won just two of their last 10 matches overall, including a loss and a draw their last two here in the UCL. Leipzig ranked just one spot lower than Villa in the Opta Global Power Rankings. I think the German side is too good to remain winless in this competition. Number two, the next four matches all take place 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. So you'll have to wait for tomorrow for these results to come in. Let's begin with Sparta Praha, Feyenoord over 3. I think this has potential to be the highest scoring fixture of match week 6 in the Champions League. Last time out, in this competition, both teams were involved in matches that saw 6 total goals scored. Now, things did not go well for Sparta, who was put to the sword by Atletico Madrid, losing 6-0. Real defensive vulnerabilities here for Sparta, who have now allowed 13 goals their last 3 UCL matches. As for Feyenoord, they've conceded just one fewer goal than Sparta over the course of their Champions League run, but who could forget what happened the last time out for the Dutch side here in the Champions League? Of course, they erased a 3-0 deficit in the final 15 minutes against Manchester City, from the draw, so 3-3 was the final there. All we need between Sparta and Feyenoord here is 4 total goals. I think we get it pretty easily, in fact. Number 3, how about another over? Young Boys Stuttgart over 3.5. If you're a client of mine, you probably recall Young Boys' last match here in the Champions League. The Swiss side were beaten 6-1 by Atalanta. I laid the minus 1.5 with Atalanta for a sweat-free winner. Pretty rare these days, quite frankly. No reason to expect anything different from Young Boys on Wednesday. They have been the worst defensive side in the UCL this season by quite a considerable margin. They've conceded 16 goals on 94 shots. They're dead last in expected goals allowed as well. And it's not like they've been stingy in the Swiss Super League either, conceding 1.6 XG per 90. At the same time, Stuttgart gives up a lot of big scoring chances themselves. No reason to think these two clubs can't combine for at least 4 goals on Wednesday. Number 4, how about one of the marquee matches on this week's Champions League slate? I like Juventus plus a half hosting Manchester City, the aforementioned Manchester City, whose recent dip in form has been well documented. Had to settle for a 2-2 draw with Crystal Palace over the weekend in the Premier League. Just one win in their last 9 matches overall, which is downright stunning for a team with the pedigree of City. Again, last time here in the Champions League, as I just mentioned, City blows the 3-goal lead against Feyenoord. Before that, they lost 4-1 to Sporting Lisbon. I just don't see Pep side turning things around in Turin. Between Serie A and the Champions League, Juventus have lost only one match this entire season. A lot of draws mixed in there, but we'll take a draw here considering we're taking the half-goal head start, which will cost us only minus 120. In their 15 matches this season, all competitions, Juventus have conceded only 10 goals and posted 10 clean sheets. If they don't give up a goal here, we're guaranteed to win. At home, I think they're good for at least a draw, that being Juve. All right. Last but not least, let's look at Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, another of this week's headliners in the Champions League. Both clubs currently top 4 in the UCL table, level on 12 points. Barcelona with the goal differential of plus 13, that's best in the competition. Dortmund not far behind at plus 10, and it's yet another match I expect to go over the total. In this instance, the total being 3.5. Now, after some high-scoring affairs earlier this season, we haven't seen as many goals in Dortmund matches recently. Back-to-back 1-1 draws in the Bundesliga. But here, they are facing a Barcelona team that has scored 18 goals in their 5 UCL matches, highest scoring team in the competition. And while Barcelona have conceded the fewest number of goals as well in the Champions League this season, that's somewhat owed to facing weak competition. Their aggressive style should lead to goals for both sides here. Remember this past Saturday here on the Power 5, again, a rarity, quite frankly, the way things are going. We cashed an over 2.5 plus both teams to score prop in Barcelona's match in La Liga versus Real Betis. So this, to me, Dortmund and Barcelona has 2-2 draw written all over it. All right, how about a quick recap here? No, I threw a lot at you. Number one, RB Leipzig draw no bet versus Aston Villa. That is today, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. The next four are all Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Number two is Sparta Praha Feyenoord over 3. Number 3, Young Boys Stuttgart over 3.5. Number 4, Juventus plus half a goal versus Manchester City. Number 5, Barcelona Borussia Dortmund over 3.5. Again, don't be shy about leaving those comments down below. I'm a big boy. I can take it. I deserve the criticism, how the show's been running lately. But if you'd be so kind to smash that like button, I do appreciate the support of the Power 5 here on WagerTalk TV. If interested, my top play for the week in the Champions League is available on my page right now, wt.buzz/BP. Going back to this past summer's Euro Cup, I'm on an 11-2 run in all UEFA competitions. That Champions League Game of the Week play, it goes today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Also, if you're watching this on Tuesday, there is still time to take advantage and get a hold of my first winner for the college football playoffs. Just $5 today only. Look, it was obviously not the finish I hoped for to the college football regular season, but I'm still on a 59-39 run with all CFB. That's 55.5 units of profit and better than a 60% record. And let's not forget about my previous domination of the Bulls, up 33.9 units the last 2 years. And last year's four-team college football playoff, I had a 5% on Michigan over Alabama, then came back with the Wolverines in the national championship game against Washington. So again, wt.buzz/BP is the place to go for my first college football playoff winner. It is only $5 on Tuesday. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Power 5. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash that like button if you did. Make sure you subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. And until next time, let's cash some tickets.